Welcome back to Rand on Real Estate. I'm Greg Rand, your host on 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. I went and appeared on the Fox Business Network today and talked about the housing market and how home ownership rates are declining. Does that mean a decline of people's willingness and interest to own American real estate? And I try to turn their attention towards the investor market, which is surging right now, clearly indicating that there is not a shortage of people who want to buy American real estate. It's just different people. Not so much the first-time home buyer and much more the investor who's going to convert it to rentals. But something happened on the way home that was really interesting. The driver of the car service that Fox sent me home with, a guy named William, was asking me about his own personal situation. I want to share it with you very briefly so you understand how much in need the world is for people that do what we suggest you do, which is be a real estate investment specialist. William lives in Yonkers, owns a two-family house in Queens. This is it right here, 3451 89th Street in Flushing. And William is in his head in distress right now. And the reason he is that his property has depreciated back to what he paid for it. He did 100% financing in 2003. The property value, he believes, has gone back down to right about what he owes. He has an interest-only mortgage, so he's paid no principal down. And he's gotten some advice from people to walk away from his mortgage. Sure, you're not surprised about that. He perceives that he has a bad investment because all he sees is negativity about real estate, and he didn't really have anybody to turn to talk about his specific property. And after about halfway home, I said, well, wait a minute, is the place occupied with renters? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, are they covering your expenses? And he proceeded to share with me numbers that I'm now going to go over, and I've come back and I used our Own America property reporting system brought to you by SmartZip Analytics. And I ran a cash flow statement. And based upon the information that he gave me in the car, his property is making him about $700 a month in profit right now. He rents it out for $7,000. He's got about $4,500, $4,800 in expenses, plus another. Bottom line is I crunched the numbers for him, but just in the car, I could tell him, if you're making $700 a month in profit, why would you try to dump the property now? Why would you even consider not making your mortgage payment and allowing the bank to foreclose? Or the advice he was being given was, stop making your mortgage payment so the bank will give you a loan modification. How's that for the tail wagging the dog, right? Turns out that he's doing great with this property. He still might want to sell it because he still perceives it as being an albatross. And so I ran the report through the perspective of somebody who would be buying it from him now at the value that he believes it's worth. And the property will throw off with a 30% down payment, a $2,200 a month positive cash flow, and an 8.4% cap rate. So the lesson here is simple, folks. He didn't have anybody to advise him. He bought real estate pre-boom, and now he's thinking that he's got himself a loser, and he may have gone and done the worst possible thing, which was to destroy his credit, just so he can get a loan modification, when in fact, the 6.75% mortgage rate, sure, that sounds high, but if you've been around this business for a while, you know that was a heck of an attractive mortgage rate at one time in not too distant history. So yeah, you can't get 4.5 because you don't have the terms where you don't have the equity in the property to refinance right now, but do not go and stop paying your mortgage. You have cash flow, which as we know means you have staying power. All right, your storm is upon us. Hang on to the mast tightly for dear life. Let the storm pass. Let the property take care of you in the future. If he wants to sell it, I'll have no trouble finding somebody who wants to buy a New York City piece of real estate and generating a $2,200 a month positive cash flow. So you understand the point. Be the expert. They need you. It's not that complicated. The right tools, the right attitude, and the right perspective will get you there.